We got South Dakota this week. We'll be at their place. Be a 1 o'clock game. They're undefeated this year at home. Thing that sticks out to me is so far at home they've only been giving up 11 points a game, 212 yards. They're a top 5 defense, top 20 in scoring. Joe Glenn's come back to his alma mater. It's his second year, and obviously done a good job of improving his football team. And they've played well thus far, and they'll be ready to play us. And obviously, being undefeated at home gives them some confidence that they'll come out and play well.
Eric, any challenges of going to a place where you've never been before?
Well, obviously, it's a new place. We've been practicing in our indoor as of yesterday. We'll have some crowd noise to simulate that. I'm sure it's probably a pretty similar environment to our indoor, other than having stands. So get used to that, playing on a flat surface, relatively new turf. So it looks like it's going to be probably similar to the Watts as far as indoor environment.
Coach, final 4 games, everything that you guys wanted to accomplish coming into the season is right out in front of you. The standings, given what they are, I know you don't look at them, but it's a little bit different than maybe people envision going into the season. Can you talk about kind of what lies ahead and the opportunities that you guys now have?
Like you said, everything's there in front of us. We are still taking things one day at a time, and we talked about from day one, after last year being disappointed that we didn't make the playoffs, is keeping control of our destiny. We control our own destiny as of today, and anytime you go and lose a conference football game, anything like that, then you know what, you're giving up some control, and we like having that control, and that's our mindset right now. We know that we have to get better in all 3 phases of the game as we continue to progress in order to reach our goals.
Are you surprised when you look at where some teams are that you're a little disappointing in terms of what they expected, how the conference is?
Other than watching them on film in that dark room, I haven't paid too much attention to specifics or the drama of each of their games. It's a hard-fought conference. I've said this before. It's much like the SEC, that in any week anybody can beat anybody, and that just gives you a little bit of idea as far as the depth. And half the teams in our league are going to get a loss on Saturday, and that's just the way it is. But fortunately, we're still rated the top conference, and we should be.
Why has South Dakota been able to play so well at home and not so well on the road?
I don't know. That's probably a question you should ask them. But I really, other than the fact that maybe they have some travel issues, maybe it's difficult for them to travel as far as, jumping on planes, buses. I know our road games are a bear just because of distance and travel and rest and those kind of things. But, when they charter a trip or go on a trip, I don't know if they fly right out of their hometown or they have to bus an hour and go somewhere. And, those are all factors. And I think there's also a familiarity with your environment that you play in. I feel like we have a home field advantage here at our place because obviously our crowd, first and foremost. Second is we have a natural crown on our field, and then you can never predict the winds in the stadium. They swirl constantly at both ends of the stadium, so that's also a tricky point depending on which corner of the end zone you're throwing or kicking the ball to.
Can you elaborate a little bit on the skills and the challenges that South Dakota presents, be it their talent level, their schemes?
Well, schematically, they're 3-1 since they made the quarterback change. And, last week Illinois State hit them on some big deep balls, and that was the difference in the football game. They're number 2 in the country, I think, in pass defense. Like I said in the beginning, they're number 5 overall. They're only giving up 297 yards. They're holding opponents under 30% on third down conversions, which are obviously big. And they've been really good in the red zone as far as keeping people out of the end zone. So that's a contributing factor there as far as their defense. Offensively, they're a multiple set team, and they try to get, whether it be their tight ends or receivers, on mismatches and move some guys around and formation you and do things like that. And you just got to be great with your eyes.
From a personnel standpoint, does anybody stick out in that secondary? I think they're only allowed 125 yards gain
Well, I mean, their whole secondary is good. They got a bunch of transfers in there. I know they got a kid from Arizona State. They're sound in what they do. They like to play 3-over-2 quite a bit. And, you know, they constantly are changing coverages, which is obviously something that you have to do. And, you know, I would venture to say that people probably, you know, with all that indecision out there and knowing how they're going to play their coverages out there, are probably more apt to run the ball against them. But Illinois State was able to hit some deep balls on them, some big deep balls.
Eric, you said 2 weeks ago you had to heal up. Are you healed up or close to it or not?
I'm pretty close. You know, we're much better than we were a week ago today, I can tell you that. You know, we still got some guys that are just going to have to play through some things. It's nothing significant, but do feel better about where we are. So we just got to stay healthy.
I saw Don Rich isn't listed on the depth chart. Is he?
He's probably going to play a little bit. You know, I don't know exactly how many plays. We'll probably make a decision on Thursday. He'll practice a little bit today. We're going to kind of progress him back in as we continue to go forward, whether it be on special teams or specifically at Sam linebacker, predicated on game and need. But, you know, that's going to be he's probably looking at 10 or 15 plays this week, maybe 20. See how that goes after the game, and then see if we can eventually work our way up to 30, 40, 50 plays, something like that.
Can you talk about your special teams? Because that seems like maybe the most improved part.
Well, Coach Bryant's always done a great job. You know, I think another contributing factor is Nicholas has been outstanding. Nathan Gibbs has been outstanding. Sejudo has been outstanding. At the same time, I think our team has finally realized and bought into the fact that you know, special teams play here or there has been a difference in some games, and it's kind of held us back. And we have more depth than we've ever had. You know, we finally have enough depth that we don't have to play a bunch of starters on special teams. We're playing a lot of our freshmen, true freshmen, and sophomores on those teams. And that's an opportunity for those guys to get on the field and get some game experience, so when they are playing offense or defense, the game will slow down for them.
How's the bye week treat you, Coach?
It was good. You know, obviously got some practices in, and Friday morning I jumped on a plane, flew to South Carolina, did some recruiting down there, flew back Saturday morning, and went to a wedding, and my wife cooked chili and hung out with the kids, and Saturday morning I was up here watching film.